when a grieving widow can't easily sue for his wife's wrongful death as a result of clear misconduct, we've got a problem.
How is signing up for the streaming give Disney the ability to say, well, since you watch our streaming service, if you come to one of our parks and eat at one of our restaurants, and even if you tell our servers you have an allergy, you can't sue us? All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Wall. Thanks for tuning in and spending some time with my good friend Ron and myself as we get an opportunity to explore the issues that mainstream media doesn't. Good morning.
Good morning, Sean. Like we said pre-tape, we talk about the things that people are scared to talk about at cocktail parties, right? Not to invoke my favorite Marine Corps colonel, but I have to here. I've got a crazy one for you. I just found this out last night, and we had to include this in the show. So I'm sorry for springing it on you. But somebody on X tagged me in a story that was related to Disney, and it's absolutely the craziest case I've ever heard. So get this.
Okay, I can't wait.
Husband, his wife passes away from eating in a Disney restaurant. They told them multiple times that she had some sort of allergy. I'm guessing it was a peanut allergy, but I don't know. The server acknowledges that. Kitchen brings the food. She eats it. I'm not sure when she dies, but she dies. And it's pretty quickly. She dies. Definitely caused by whatever happened. Ironically, there's been criminal charges against people in other countries for not adhering to allergies when people are notified. So this is like a very, very serious case. And Disney certainly shares a lot of liability for that and probably should pay out. Well, the case is filed. And obviously litigation is in full swing. Disney files a motion to dismiss that has the craziest thing that I've ever heard in it. Here's what they're saying. Husband decided that he wanted to watch a little bit of Disney Plus a couple of years ago. I'm guessing it was probably because of that one Disney movie that they only released on Disney Plus. I think it was sort of like the Chinese one. I don't know if you remember this, seeing it with the grandkids, but I think it was that one. He signs up for it. And included in that Disney sign-up is some sort of arbitration agreement and I think a release. And because he signed that, releasing Disney from liability, or at least having it go to arbitration, the lawsuit for wrongful death should be dismissed as a result of the Disney Plus sign-up.
Now, how does signing up for I'm sorry. I mean, it's a terrible situation. When you were talking about the fact that the woman passed away from eating at a Disney restaurant, I was going to say, well, I'm sure she's not the first. The food is horrible. But with it being an allergy, I mean, obviously that's horrible. But how is signing up for a streaming service where you're watching Marvel movies or Disney movies or National Geographic or whatever else that they have on the Disney streaming? How is signing up for the streaming supposed to insulate or, give Disney the ability to say, well, since you watch our streaming service, if you come to one of our parks and eat at one of our restaurants, and even if you tell our servers you have an allergy and we don't adhere to that, you can't sue us. You have to go to arbitration. How the heck? Come on,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I imagine that arbitration agreement says you will go to arbitration for lawsuits against Disney companies or any of its affiliates. I bet the restaurant company is some like bottom tier affiliate of the overall Disney company. And so the release is so far removed. But this actually speaks to a larger movement in the United States. The Attorney General in Texas filed a lawsuit against GM, saying that GM had stolen data from its customers and sent it to insurance companies in order to increase rates. And one of the big problems with that was the people didn't specifically consent. GM had for their OnStar sign up some just like general, and you agree to allow us to share data with anybody. But that specific sharing that was against the interests of the consumer is a problem. So we're starting to see the breakup of Google, the lawsuits against the large auto manufacturers. I think there's a larger movement in this country, and it seems like both administrations may be on board to limit the power of these large corporations to insulate themselves from wrongdoing because it's proving to be against American interests. When a grieving widow can't easily sue for his wife's wrongful death as a result of clear misconduct by a restaurant, when somebody's insurance rates are raised because of data being illegally shared with some other entity, we've got a problem. So I'm very interested in the next couple of years of litigation to see how this plays out, because I think that this is kind of a bellwether situation where we're going to have more of this. I think that we're going to have a heyday of Aaron Brockovich style suits against companies for data and kind of over releasing themselves and insulating themselves from liability. And it's going to be an interesting day. It'll be a big breakup.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the antitrust lawsuits as well. I mean, this is really, really, I think, an interesting time in federal law to be watching the suits that are being filed, to see, the results of these and to see how they're going to impact the American, people as we move forward. The ones that I'm the most interested in are the big tech. To me, big tech, I think, is you're either a social media platform or a news platform. And, I will say this, and Elon Musk is my hero. Elon Musk is my hero. I don't care what anybody says. Listen, I have 2 grandbabies that are on the spectrum, okay? And they are wicked, wicked, wicked smart. I mean, one of them's 7, the other one is 4. And I mean, their minds process like they're 15-year-old and 10-year-old. I mean, they're just my grandson's ability. Like he's so incredible with his hands and building stuff. And like, he wants to build these little engineering sets. But I look at Elon Musk, if you put aside the nonsense, the noise, and you listen to his words, this guy is all about freedom of speech. This guy is making sure that everyone has a voice, not just those that want one side of the story to come out. And what he did with the EU Commission on speech, where he basically said, I'm a really nice guy, so I would never say this, but if I did, and then he had that meme, I would tell you to go blank your face. I mean, come on. I mean, this is a guy, and I get it. He's the wealthiest man in the world. I think, in my opinion, he's probably the most powerful guy in the world, or at least one of the most powerful guys in the world. He's definitely one of the most influential, if not the most influential guy in the world. But this guy has zero fear. This guy, I mean, he doesn't fear cancel culture. He says, you can't cancel me. I own the damn platform. I mean, he just dismantles people.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see that. I actually plugged him on Newsmax when I was talking about that GM suit, because I said, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I don't know if I'm allowed to plug a product, but I said, hey, I'm a Detroit guy. I should be driving one of the big 3, but I drive a Tesla primarily because I don't think that Elon would share my data to anybody. Now, I hope I don't have egg on my face and Elon is actually sharing data, but I think that he keeps it carefully controlled. I think that there may be something with Uber in the works where there may be some data being shared, but I don't think he's going to share it with insurance companies in order to raise rates. I think he draws the line there.
Well, the last thing that I'll say about Elon Musk and Teslas, we were driving down the highway yesterday going from where I live in Georgia into Auburn, Alabama. And I have been obsessed with the Cybertruck. And I know a lot of people don't like it and blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you something. I saw one yesterday that was all black. That is the coolest thing that I've ever seen.
It's a monster. Yeah,
that
it's
thing,
a monster.
It's bulletproof. Joe Rogan with an 80-pound compound bow. And, the specific grain tip that he was using, he and Elon were in the studio, and Joe sent one of his people to go get his compound bow at the house because Elon was talking about that from the factory. They come bulletproof and all this stuff. And Joe's like, I bet I could pierce your truck with one of my bows. And Elon's like, want to bet? And And then they were talking about it, and Elon, you see his mind start to go because he's working all these calculations.
He's running the numbers. Yeah.
And sure enough, man, and it's one of the best episodes. You got to watch it. Joe Rogan's wearing a blonde wig, and they come back inside after the arrow just bounces off the truck, and they're smoking cigars, drinking bourbon, and Elon looks at him and he goes, "Bitch."
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if we have to cut that, but
no, I don't think we do. On the horizon with some of this big data stuff, we've got, and we'll do another episode on this, for those who want to subscribe, but, we've got the, massive lawsuits related to whether or not social media entities have responsibility for the content that appears on the platform and whether or not they should be able to engage in monitoring. And I think that bears some discussion because there's a specific section of the United States Code that has insulated social media platforms and search engines for a very, very long time, since like the beginning of like the early origins of the internet, has insulated them from what has appeared on their message boards. But yet entities like Facebook, Meta, Google, and X, a lot less than others, have had some moderation in effect on their platforms. And the question is, how much does that impact, free speech of individuals? It's always a very interesting rub. So I don't know how we got from allergies in restaurants to free speech and compound bows, but these conversations are always amazing. And thanks for jumping on for this quick hot take on Disney food.
Absolutely. And hey, to all of you out there, if you enjoy our content, please don't forget to like and click that subscribe button. See you next time on The Wall.